Our movie begins in Eniville, South Carolina, exactly 2 hours and 14 minutes before the arrival of a massive hurricane. We go to the house of Dakota, who lives alone. She has just woken up and is completely unaware of the news spreading throughout the city, despite official warnings for immediate evacuation. Strangely, she only learns about this when she calls a restaurant to order food because her kitchen is empty. During her call, the restaurant manager, who seems to know her well due to her frequent orders, shocks her by revealing it's practically the end of the world and she hasn't even noticed. She looks out the window to see all her neighbors fleeing, and the intense wind is already rattling her door. Panicked, she decides to head to a supermarket to grab canned food. Out on the street, she struggles to breathe against the wind and almost faints. She runs into a neighbor who scolds her for being out, mentioning he hasn't seen her since her mother passed away. We learn her mother died just a few months ago, and Dakota has been a recluse ever since. The neighbor offers her a seat in his car to escape, but she retreats back to her apartment in a state of breakdown. Meanwhile, we see Lisa in her car amidst the surrounding chaos. Her mother calls, blaming her for going to a distant city to give birth alone. We find out Lisa was engaged to a poker player who abandoned her after she got pregnant. Lisa's mother reminds her that she warned her about his character. The government is demanding an immediate evacuation, and the mother asks why Lisa is still there when she is due to give birth in a few hours. Lisa explains she just left work because they wouldn't give her a day off. Suddenly, she notices the first signs of the hurricane. However, the real disaster that no one knows about yet is that this isn't just a hurricane and a tsunami. It's also a massive shark attack. We confirm this when Dakota's uncle, an emergency responder, learns that Hurricane Henry is a Category 4 storm that will destroy everything in its path. He calls Dakota, begging her to leave immediately before the house collapses on her. Dakota, feeling hopeless about life, jokingly says the day looks entertaining compared to her deadly routine. Her uncle empathizes with her grief over her mother, but warns that staying home won't take away the pain. They share a moment of laughter before he promises to come get her. Elsewhere, we see 3 foster siblings enjoying the rain until their older brother, Ron, disappears underwater, only to resurface laughing. The siblings are unhappy with their lives under their foster family. The middle sister is upset about school starting, but the others are just happy they will finally have food to eat every day, showing how difficult their current life is. Their foster father, Mr. Wilson, arrives and yells at them without an ounce of mercy, complaining about the cost of medical bills if they get sick. He ignores the radio warnings of a mandatory evacuation, dismissively calling it just a little rain. Back home, he reveals his true motive. He only fostered them to collect government checks. Meanwhile, Dakota is at home watching old videos of her mother, who was the center of her world. Dakota's uncle is on his way with a team. A reporter stops them to confirm rumors of great white shark sightings. The uncle is shocked to realize the descriptions match bull sharks, the most aggressive type. Dakota hears this on the news but doesn't react. Lisa is still on the road, looking for an open store, but the world is falling apart around her. The phone line cuts as she talks to her mother. Roofs are flying off houses, the power goes out, and the asphalt begins to collapse between the buildings. Lisa drives at full speed, hoping to reach the city gates before they close. She is stopped by a fuel tanker driver who warns her that a fallen tree has blocked the road. He tells her to follow him, so he can clear a path with his massive truck. As they move, cars begin to sink, and the road turns into a swamp filled with predators. The driver tells her to move quickly through the gap he made, but the destruction doubles. Lisa gets stuck, and a tree branch pierces her car, narrowly missing her head but pinning her down. Water begins to flood the car. As the water rises, Lisa screams as she is inches away from drowning. At the foster family's house, the water invades the garden. Ron suggests they get to the car to reach the scuba gear. Wilson, for the first time, agrees, claiming he bought waterproof tools. 2 men on a boat reach Lisa's car. One promises to free her and asks his friend to bring a cutting tool. Suddenly, something drags the friend underwater. The man leaves Lisa, who is begging him to save her and her unborn baby. The friend resurfaces screaming, his arm is gone. A shark has attacked him. Dakota, watching from her window, screams to warn them about the shark. The tanker driver tries to break his door open to help, but when he finally does, a second shark leaps in and eats him whole. The man who tried to save Lisa is also killed. Dakota's uncle is stuck because the flood barriers have collapsed. He strikes a deal with the reporter. The reporter will use his specialized equipment to get them through in exchange for an exclusive live broadcast of the rescue. The Foster siblings watch in horror as a shark swims by. The shark attacks Wilson, who tries to fend it off with his arm. Then it turns and mauls his wife. Wilson, showing his true colors, gives the kids a look of goodbye and runs to the garage to save himself. But before he can reach the car, the shark tears him apart. Now alone in the rising water, Dakota tries to comfort Lisa. Despite her phobia of leaving the house, Dakota tells Lisa she will call for help, but Lisa screams that she is trapped and today is her due date. Dakota realizes she has to act. Lisa pleads for the life of her unborn child. Dakota has a panic attack, but manages to pull herself together. She leaves her room and sees her first floor is completely submerged. She grabs a sharp tool and climbs out the window. She slips into the water but manages to climb onto the roof of a car and then onto a floating roof. Sharks are circling her. She maintains her nerves, jumps onto a balcony railing, and reaches Lisa's car. She cuts the branch away and pulls Lisa out. They manage to get back to Dakota's room just as Lisa enters the final stages of labor. Dakota's uncle learns that a massive female great white, who has been monitored for 3 years, is in the area and has likely given birth to a whole clan of sharks. The reporter is excited for the scoop, while the uncle is terrified. Back at the Foster house, the siblings are trapped on a table. Ron saves his sister from a shark at the last second. Dakota tells Lisa they are safe for now, but Lisa asks if they can get to the roof so rescue helicopters can see them. Lisa's labor pains intensify. Dakota, a woman with a severe phobia, is now responsible for delivering a baby in the middle of a shark-infested flood. The siblings realize the table won't be safe for long as the water rises. Ron suggests they go to the basement, the one place they were forbidden to enter, to find tools. Meanwhile, Dakota uses curtains to write the word "help" on the roof for helicopters. Lisa tells Dakota she needs to check how far along the birth is. Dakota is terrified but follows Lisa's instructions. Dakota confirms the baby is coming within minutes. The uncle and his crew are on a small boat, forced to leave their heavy equipment behind to stay afloat. Ron risks his life in the water to reach the basement, saying the only thing he ever feared was Wilson, and Wilson is gone. In Dakota's room, the water has reached the bed. Lisa begs her baby to wait until they are in a safer place. Dakota, watching Lisa struggle, thinks of her own mother and decides she won't let this child grow up without one. Dakota remembers her uncle saying sharks avoid electrical vibrations. She gathers flashlights and everything with a battery. She ties a flashlight to her head and promises Lisa she will return. The uncle's boat passes by human remains. Wilson's survival comes to an end as the sharks finish him off. Ron finds the meat Wilson was hoarding in a box of explosives. He uses the meat as bait to distract a shark and manages to get back to the table just in time. Lisa's bed is now floating against the ceiling. Dakota's flashlight begins to fail, and the blood in the water attracts the sharks. Dakota reaches the boat, but she faints from a panic attack. Her uncle recalls a hippopotamus shark, a legendary aggressive bull shark, that he once saw. He spots a floating doll and fears the worst for his niece. Lisa, alone and in labor, plays music she practiced for this moment. The siblings find detonators in the toolbox. Lisa's house collapses, and she is forced to swim to the surface while giving birth. Lisa finally gives birth. To protect the baby from the spreading blood, she places him on a floating piece of wood and cuts the umbilical cord with a sharp stick. A shark attacks, but Lisa fights back with the wood, screaming, "My son is a red line." Dakota wakes up, spots the shark near Lisa from a distance, and takes a perfect shot to wound it. The siblings successfully blow up the sharks with their meat explosive trap. After a day of holding their breath, both families survive. Dakota has overcome her phobia. Lisa introduces her mother to her new grandson via video call. The siblings inherit Wilson's truck, which surprisingly still works. The reporter gets the biggest story of his life. Many were lost, but these survivors found a new beginning. The narrator concludes by advising everyone to stay safe.